Today's show is made possible by Manscaped. 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code CHAT, C-H-A-T, over at manscaped.com/chat. The leaders in below-the-waist technology. Say all about them later on in today's show. First up from Juan Hernandez. If the Raiders get Jayden Daniels in the draft, could he have a reunion with Brandon Aiyuk? As weird as this sounds, Juan is correct. Jayden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk played together at Arizona State. You've got rookie quarterback and soon-to-be fifth-year wide receiver play together. Kind of crazy, but it is true. I think you could see Antonio Pierce trying to get Daniels. If Daniels starts to slide beyond, pick 3 and pick 4, maybe to pick 5, something like that, I think like the Chargers at 5, with their needs, they could move down to like 8, 9, whatever, 10, 11 in that range, and still get one of their guys that they really want to add. So I do think a trade up, if Daniels falls or is available, could make sense for Vegas, because Williams and May seem, at least to me, a bit unlikely at this stage. Christopher Flores, will the Patriots build a borderline playoff team in 2024? I'm kind of missing the Patriots in the playoffs and winning. Let's see what they do at quarterback. They always were a borderline playoff team until last year. They're always around 500. It was a big regression season for New England. That's why they're picking so early. Let's check in after the offseason. With the number 3 overall pick and cash to spend, they could be aggressive. From Sal, would you rather have Russ or Tannehill? That's Russell Wilson, Ryan Tannehill. I'm not convinced either guy is like, yeah, this is our franchise guy the next 10 years, 5 years, maybe even 3 years. We're going to be a Super Bowl contender with him. But I think there are teams they could be an upgrade for, or at least give you better competition to push a young guy. Looking at you, Pittsburgh. Atlanta, if you're going to give Ritter a shot, which I would kind of hate. Of the two, give me Russ. I think his overall play is better right now than Tannehill. I think Tannehill is a borderline, running on empty. Wilson did make some plays in Denver. I don't think he and Sean Payton got along that great. But I think Russ has a little bit more left in the tank. Who would you go with? W for Russell Wilson or T for Ryan Tannehill? It's the pinned comment on today's show. The ad comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. From True Allure, why does Kyle never learn his lesson from getting on top of the mountain? Meaning, why does he always find a way to blow, or his team blow big leads or leads in the Super Bowl? Football's hard. I don't really have that many issues with what Shanahan did in the game. People are like, you didn't run the ball enough. The Chiefs were loading the box. They were doubling Aiyuk or showing doubles. I think the Chiefs get a ton of credit for executing things the way they did. I would have kicked to start overtime because I would have liked to have the information, and then I would have gone for 2 if I'd scored and gone for the win right then and there. But you can make the argument of going first and getting the ball third. There is some viability to that. But, I also just am like, you didn't really try to maximize your moment at inside of 2 minutes in the first half. That was kind of my big issue there. I think in the end, it's really frustrating for the 49ers, and this is why it's so frustrating. It wasn't like there were a massive amount of like, wow, you're an idiot plays. Like, they didn't play that bad. They just weren't good enough. And that team was really good, and they still weren't good enough. How do you get better? I don't know. From Taylor, any chance the Patriots or someone go 6 to midnight on a guy like JJ McCarthy, Daniel Jones style? I don't know that early with the Patriots. I'd be kind of blown away. I do think coaches are going to love McCarthy. Because for a kid as young as he actually is pretty darn grounded and like mature more than most 21-year-olds are. Going to get glowing reviews from Jim Harbaugh too, which I think will matter. I didn't like Daniel Jones coming out. I think I'm going to like McCarthy more. More upside, more downside. I didn't think Jones was ever that talented or that great. I think McCarthy has the potential to be. But top 3, I'd be kind of blown away. Top 15, very realistic. Today's show is made possible by Manscaped. 2024 is here, and it's time for a New Year's resolution to check in with our friends at Manscaped. It is never too late to level up your grooming game and keep your bush tamed. Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, including your boy, it is now time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com/chat and use promo code chat for 20% off and free shipping. The 5th generation lawnmower is not just a trimmer, folks. It is your grooming sidekick. It's got 2 skin-safe blade heads, the standard one for taking a little bit off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart ends up desiring. By the way, it's waterproof because I think handling that in the shower is the best place to do it, unlike other things you could potentially do in the shower. Get 20% off and free shipping with code CHAT over at manscaped.com/chat. Embrace a new you and make sure you embrace that new trimmer. Link and promo code are in the comments section and the description of today's show. All right, Mikey. Giants trade Evan Neal and their Seattle second rounder to Arizona to go from 4 to 6. Draft a QB or Marvin Harrison at number 4. Draft a true right tackle with their own second, like Mims, Guyton, or Latham. My issue here is if Marvin Harrison's there, I'm not sure Arizona's going to trade down. I think they're just going to take him. You know, the value's not that bad. You know, a second, and if you believe in Evan Neal, maybe I think they might be asking for a bit more. If if Marvin Harrison's gone, maybe, but I think Cardinals are going to really like Blake Neighbors too. But it's not the most outlandish idea. The true right tackle option, Mims, Guyton, or Latham. My concern there's a very good chance all those guys are gone by the end of the first round. I think all 3 guys could be top 25 picks. Like, I think that's how the NFL is going to view them. So you might need to move up from the second round to go get a better right tackle. That actually might be a viable path for New York as well. From Austin, where will Kirk Cousins go? It's a good question. Decision has to be made kind of soon for Minnesota. You know, free agency is roughly a month away. His deal's going to void. And that's going to put a big dead cap number onto the Vikings salary cap. And they're not going to be able to push it off in the future. I'll get the exact numbers here momentarily for you. For Minnesota, if they don't get a deal done with Kirk Cousins, by the time his contract voids on 3/13, they are left holding the bag on a $28.5 million dead cap figure. If they get an extension done, they can get that number way down and still push some of it off in the future. But if they don't, they're taking 28.5 on top of a new contract for Kirk. So if Cousins hits free agency, I don't think he's back with Minnesota. Your window is kind of over at that stage. You kind of didn't time it up properly. In that case, New England, Atlanta. I'm sure someone thinks the Niners are still a fit with Shanahan because that's always a rumor. But Atlanta and New England kind of stand out to me as some top fits. So in the end, get your predictions in here. Who will sign Kirk Cousins in 2024 NFL free agency? Get those predictions in right now. Cameron Briglin, who do you think, or what coach will be on the hot seat the most going into the 2024-25 season? So assuming we mean this upcoming one, I think there's an obviously correct answer here. Mike McCarthy. He's not even under contract after this upcoming season. That doesn't happen. Do you know the last time a coach didn't have a contract for the next upcoming season? Jason Garrett. Twice, by the way. That never happens in the NFL, except in Dallas, apparently. There's no hotter seat in America than the current hot seat in Dallas for Mike McCarthy. Robert Bruce, hello, Tom, and everyone else at Chat Sports. Yeah, it's getting too many names there for you to keep track of it and get them all in the comment there, Robert. I think Patriots will trade out of number 3 and get more picks to fill all the holes. I don't think so, because it's either quarterback or you're getting the best player in the draft at number 3 overall. I think that's how they're going to view it. I wouldn't be mad at a trade down, but trading away from Marvin Harrison Jr. and or your franchise quarterback doesn't really seem all that likely. Now, we will be your one-stop shop for a ton of NFL news and rumors and trades, free agency, draft stuff. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button for me right now, youtube.com/chatsportstv. From RAR, what will the Broncos end up doing with Jerry Jeudy? Where would the best landing spot be? That's a good question. The issue is, who wants to pay Jerry Jeudy $13 million? Fully guaranteed, so they can't cut him. I think there's a decent chance Jeudy is just back in Denver next season. And they say, maybe we'll figure it out this time around. Beyond that, Carolina's desperate for a wide receiver. Maybe they could get him kind of cheaply because of the contract, and he hasn't lived up to expectations. But I wouldn't be that shocked if Denver said, we'll just try it one more time with Jeudy, and maybe we'll shop Cortland Sutton or move on from him, potentially. From Roy Williams, if the Chargers cut Joey Bosa, should the Cowboys sign him if we lose Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler? I don't think it's that unlikely the Chargers cut Bosa. I think there's a real chance of that because he's got $22 million owed this year, and I don't think anyone really wants to pay that number for has played 14 games past 2 years? So going to a contender and a team that can give him some playing time and maybe let him be more of a pure pass rusher at this stage in his career, I think is intriguing. The Cowboys don't win bidding wars, though, and I could see there being a bidding war for Bosa. So it's a good idea, but not just for Dallas, for a lot of teams. From Trevor, can someone poach Chris Jones from Kansas City? Maybe, if they want to just win the bidding war, because I don't think Jones is going to get franchised. It'd be like a $32 million figure if he gets tagged. That seems ridiculous because that's more than what Aaron Donald makes per year. Just not going to happen. So I think he's going to reach the open market. Snead might get tagged, though. Jones hits the open market, bidding war. Chiefs will get the final call of, do you want to match? They might not. Under the radar, and it hasn't mattered because they just keep winning Super Bowls, the Chiefs have actually not been that aggressive with their salary cap structure. They have allowed fairly massive hits with Patrick Mahomes' cap hit. They have not just pushed the money off all into the future like all these other teams do. They're like, nope, we'll take bigger sized cap hits. They could have freed up $20 million more this year with Mahomes alone. And nah, we're good. And it worked for him. So if Jones gets a similar offer, I think he's back in KC. I wouldn't be that blown away if he left, because this is his last chance to get a big-time contract. I get it. Now, who do you think is the best NFL free agent in 2024? Sound off for me in the comments section right now. From Richard, I think Josh Jacobs will be a Bear. I don't think so. You've got young options in Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert. You can draft somebody, sign a cheap vet. I don't think they want to spend a big contract on a running back because they could have done that last year. They could have done it in previous years. I think they're going to go a little bit cheaper at the spot. Now, if they have money to burn, maybe. But Shane Waldron in Seattle was using draft picks and rotating them. I don't know if they want to go full-on investment. From Justin Smith, could the Commanders trade for Fields and take Marvin Harrison Jr.? Yes, they could. I would not advise that. I think that would be kind of a mistake. You have a chance to draft. I had Fields as a very highly rated prospect coming out of Ohio State, my number 2 guy behind Trevor Lawrence. And you're still kind of banking on the upside, but having less time and to make your decision, less time to grow and develop relative to his contract. You're at 2. I'm taking Williams or May, who's ever there. I've already got a number 1 receiver in Terry McLaurin. I've got some skill players there that I feel pretty good about overall. I'm going to take my new quarterback. I'm going to have all the benefits as an organization that come with having a new savior that we haven't seen play in the NFL. The optimism that comes from that for a new franchise does matter. And I'm not going to gamble on Fields. Now, if the Commanders were at 4 or 5, I might feel differently. Same with the Bears, by the way. But being in that top 2, give me Williams or May, and allow me to have my new young franchise QB.